Jr. I'm the handy drummer. I am a drummer with cerebral palsy. And I have the pleasure of talking about the Evans sound percussion package. And let me go over the hardware first because that is the no-brainer, easy stuff. So we have the trigger, the module, and the software. Optionally, you can get the mesh head or you can use a Mylar head. It will operate, I don't want to say one and the same, but it will still operate on a Mylar head. This is an Evans DB0. I love this thing so far. We have the optical trigger, which is absolutely awesome. And it uses just a little, I want to say metal sticky tap that goes under the sensor with lights shining down on it to read the head, which then feeds into the sensory percussion module, which then feeds into the software, which has a ton of different sounds, everything from really atmospheric and synthesized sounds to maybe jazzy bop sounds, to hand percussion sounds, to trap sounds. And it's all really in one small package. So being a drummer with cerebral palsy, my thought is I want to take as little as possible. I typically play with a side snare, and so this just makes sense to me. I already have this snare here, typically a 13 or a 12. So basically what we're doing is just putting the mesh head on it and then adding the Evans sensory. I'm taking away a multi-pad and I'm adding one trigger, the module, and I already have either my laptop or my iPad. And so I still have the same amount of sounds, right? And carrying less gear than I typically would. The cool thing is, if I'm carrying it myself, I could just put this in a snare bag that I normally would have with backpack straps and I'm out the door. I can put these two in my stick bag and that also has backpack straps. So that's equally, I'm still as balanced while I'm walking. But the cool thing is when I'm playing on a multi-pad, I have to focus. My right arm, only stretches so far because of my muscles right here. So I'm having to play the ride, let's say if I'm playing a ride, and focus on which pad I want to hit. Where here, I can hit anywhere on that drum and still get sound coming at me, even if it's claps, if it's snaps, or if it's just me playing and I'm, a one-man band of sorts. I don't have to hit which part I want. I can still be here and not worry about overstretching that muscle. And I could just, play like I normally would a side snare, even if I'm here, right? I don't have to overexert one side, bend too far over to kill my back, which then throws off my bass drum leg. I can sit in the pocket, sit where I'm comfortable, and do what I would normally do playing while still getting the same sounds that I would out of a sample pad. So there's my first one here. I got Analog Future. Really cool atmospheric stuff, but if I want to change it real quick and play some rap stuff, or I can go to more hand percussion it sounds like that. That's the point. So I have a student that has autism that I really, really wish something like this was available when I started teaching him. Reason being is I look at this as a color palette. If you think of a painter, they have their palette that they're holding with all the colors, and then you can blend those colors to make new colors. And then you have a blank canvas that you can then paint a beautiful picture. This is kind of the same way. And if you know anything about children that are neurodivergent, they need stimulation to stay locked in. I could only imagine having had this, put sticks in his hands and say, just hit the drum and watch all the amazing color come out. I could only imagine what that would do to his brain to then make him lock in and really enjoy what he's learning. Not just feel like he's having information shoved at him, but really be able to enjoy painting a beautiful sound picture with all of these amazing sounds that comes in the software, but just having a mesh head that almost feels like a trampoline and almost playing with no seatbelt. Just play and paint an awesome picture. I believe that if you are an educator of a neurodivergent student, that this is definitely something to look into. That was cool. New patch.